My friends, I did a little work and a little play yesterday, and I got video evidence of both. I also have another video recommendation for you, and we'll get to all that right after this. Hello my friends, Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa String Works Workshop. It is Wednesday, April 26th. Cash is going to be here today for his lesson later. He gets here around 3:45 or 4. And I'm anxious to see how he's made up with his guitar and see if he's made any progress on his lessons and things. We'll get to all of that later today. I mentioned I did some work yesterday. I did take that roller off the Bobcat. That was a little bit eventful because it didn't just come right off. So here's some video that you might enjoy. Well, my friends, you can see I brought out the big guns to break that nut loose right there. I've got, these are 3/4 inch. These are not 1/2 inch drive. These are 3/4 inch drive. Heavy duty stuff. And I put all my weight, all the strength I had in my arms lifting up on that long extended bar with the pipe on it. Couldn't break that doggone nut loose for nothing. Literally can't get it to budge. So we're gonna try this method. You know, I can go get my bigger torch if I need to. We're gonna try with this first. Some of you might think that's extreme, but I can tell you that ain't nothing for something like this. All right, well, let's see if that did anything. I doubt it, but you never know. All right, I've got a hold of this thing with my right arm here, and I'm pulling for all I'm worth. Oh, yep, it's gonna do it. That did it. That changed it. I was pulling for all I was worth before. Couldn't get that to move even a little bit. Uh-oh, it's spinning on the other side though. So that didn't help much. The other side's got a nut down in here too. That's gonna be fun. So I'm gonna have probably 2 people. One holding this or propping it up on something else to keep that from turning. Well, believe it or not, I got that to loosen up with my Harbor Freight 20 volt lithium here, Earthquake XT. This is a 1/2 inch impact driver. Boy, this thing is powerful, and I can't believe it's turned that much loose already. Let's see if it'll do the rest of it. That thing is incredible. I am impressed with that thing. For the little money that this thing costs, you need one of these. I am not kidding you. This is the heavy duty, 1/2 inch one. They make a 3/8 also. The 3/8 is good, but this thing is killer. Well, once I heated the other side, I was able to use the Harbor Freight impact wrench there and loosen it up enough for the whole thing to fall out. It's still not completely apart, I don't think. There you go. I mean, that's really hot because I had to heat that up, but you can see it loosened it up enough that this came loose and this all fell apart. But you can also see, this is probably hot. You can also see how loose it is. That should be tight. There should be no play in that. So it's pretty bad. Well, I hope you did enjoy that, and it was a little struggle, but we got there, and I'm hoping those parts will come in pretty soon. As of yesterday, they hadn't even been shipped yet. I'm anxious to get the parts so I can get to work. Well, I also mentioned I did a little play. Even though we haven't had any rain over the past 4, 5, 6 days, I thought it'd be worth it to go out and look for some more mushrooms, and I was successful. So here's some video footage on that as well. Well, my friends, I have just hiked up this very steep hill. It's way steeper than it looks on this camera. It just keeps falling off and falling off till you get down to the bottom. So we're a couple of 100 feet up the hill. And I'm looking for elm trees. I found this one here. And I always say this is the place you look, and you look really close. So far, I have found just one. Do you see it? it might be more. I definitely see one. I'll move closer to the one I see, and I'll try not to step on any other ones in case there are other ones. Do you see it yet? There it is, right in the middle of the screen. That's the only one I see here at the moment. Well, I've come another 100 feet up the hill, at least, maybe more. And I was headed toward this big elm because I've found mushrooms around this elm before. And before I got there, I looked down this way. And can you see it? It's roughly in the middle of your screen there. It's just one little one that I can see. I'll come up, I'll try to get close to it. It's kind of hard, all this brush. I'm gonna have to go around this way, I think. Maybe I'll see another one on the way there. Kind of a small one, but it's right there. So, well, my friends, I've come from way over that hill. The last time I had the camera on, I was on the other side of that hill, and I had climbed up probably, I don't know, 700 feet to get to the top. And I've never been in this valley hunting mushrooms, or at least not this far up. Actually, I have, but it's been way down there. So I've never hunted up in this end of the valley. I saw this elm tree, so I thought, I ought to look around this elm tree. And here's another little elm tree right here. And guess what? I found one right next to this little elm tree. Do you see it? It's a little bit dried up already. Bummer. I wish it wasn't dried up. But I'll pick it anyway. We usually can put them in water and they usually soften right back up and usually are okay. This is what you call ironic. You can see the buildings there. That's my house. And I have walked at least a couple of miles up and down these hills and all around. And I was coming down this hill at an angle, just out in the middle of nowhere. There's one right there. And then I saw another one over here to my right, and I don't see it again right now. Okay, it's over there. So here's the first one right there. And then the other one is over here. Can you see it? Are there more right here? There's a big elm down there, but this is pretty far from the elm. I don't think these other ones are elms. I think there's something else. So these are just out in the middle of nowhere, kind of. Well, here's one more in the same place. Right there, do you see it? It's kind of a small one, but it's big enough to eat. And I'm going to stand here and look for a while, because that's 3 now. Well, I feel like the old ticker's still in good shape because I walked up some of the steepest cotton picking hills you'd ever want to walk up, let me tell you. I'm telling you right now, these hills, they'll take it out of you, and there's some really steep ones. Some of them you can't walk up. The rocks and everything under your feet just keep rolling out. You literally have to grab trees and things and go up the hill that way. That's how steep it is. Anyway, we made it okay, and we did find those mushrooms as you saw, and I had a good time. And I like to do that to just kind of test myself to see if I'm still in as okay shape as I think I'm in. I mentioned I had a video recommendation. Well, my friend Todd Taylor, who is billed as the world's fastest banjo player, he has set some Guinness Book World Records on his banjo playing speed. His main gig was with the Oak Ridge Boys for a number of years. One time he called me and he says, you won't believe this, but he says, I'm on the bus with the Oak Ridge Boys and we're headed to a gig and we're watching your videos. I thought that was pretty cool. Well, anyway, I have a link to his latest release. It's called Jesus Left Chicago. I think the music's pretty good, and I enjoyed it. One thing for sure, you'll enjoy what he's driving. It's a pretty cool old truck, and he's made the video in a nice spot. And on top of that, the other bonus is that he's playing a really cool looking banjo. So all that combined, it made out to be a pretty darn good video. Hope you enjoy it. The other good news that happened yesterday was our electric was off for about 2 hours. You say, well, that ain't good news. Well, you're right, it wasn't, but it was off for a good reason, and that is that they were completing the pole replacements that they needed to do for the fiber optic cable coming into the farm here. I knew they had a couple more poles that they needed to replace, and the other guys that are running the fiber had already run the fiber, as I mentioned, and it's curled up on the poles here, but I knew they still had to replace some poles, and they were probably waiting on that before they could activate the fiber cable and all that. So I'm going to make the phone call today to the electric company. I've got it on my calendar here to call them and find out what the status is, because I'm chomping at the bit to get the fiber optic internet service in here. A couple of my viewers have recommended that I switch over from Ethernet to fiber optic cable here on the farm, and I think I might do that, especially to replace the Wi-Fi signals between the buildings. It's a long way. It's 300 feet and maybe 600 feet. I've looked online and I see some fiber optic cable in those links, and I may just bite the bullet and bury me some cable. I probably have to put it in conduit because most of the cable that's that long looks like it's not direct bury. One way or the other, we're going to get that all done eventually, and of course there'll be videos for all that too down the road. Well, that's going to be about it. Hope you enjoyed my video today, and we will see you tomorrow.